Have you ever wondered if it's too late to start living authentically, even after you've reached your 60s or 70s? What if the best years of your life are still ahead of you, just waiting to be embraced? In this video, we'll dive into the powerful habits that can transform your life, no matter your age. You'll discover how one man's journey through his 60s and beyond led him to a more fulfilling, purposeful existence. From rethinking finances to building new relationships, maintaining physical health, and even finding joy in simple pleasures, these lessons are timeless. Watch until the end, because we'll reveal 10 life-changing habits that can not only improve your physical and mental well-being but also help you create deeper connections and find happiness in the small moments. These principles have the potential to reshape your mindset and outlook, proving that age is just a number when you know how to live fully. Don't miss out on the secret to thriving in your golden years. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. My wife spent decades as an elementary school teacher, where she took immense pride in her beautiful, graceful handwriting. Her penmanship was a part of her identity, her way of sharing her love for learning with her students. But when she turned 80, she began struggling to hold her brush properly, a small but deeply significant change that caught us off guard. We had always felt she was doing well, her spirit still sharp and her mind vibrant. But seeing her struggle with something so essential to her sense of self struck us both profoundly. Around that time, I remembered the words of Professor Murata, a mentor who had come into my life in my 60s and left a lasting mark. He had once told me, "Kazuo, it's never too late. Even if you start now, you can live genuinely, authentically, even when you're 80. His words echoed in my mind as I witnessed my wife's challenges, encouraging me to face my limitations and uncertainties with renewed courage. I realized it wasn't only her journey but ours. From that moment, I began cultivating 10 habits that would help me stay grounded, purposeful, and resilient, no matter my age. These practices have given me strength and clarity, even as we navigate the surprises and losses that come with growing older. Professor Murata's advice was more than wisdom. It was a gift, a reminder that we could continue to grow, adapt, and find purpose, even in moments of change. 1. Smart use of assets. Reflecting on life, I often think about my dear classmate Murata. For decades, Murata was a man dedicated to his family's future. He was determined to save every possible yen, envisioning a large inheritance that would support his children long after he was gone. He believed it was the most loving and responsible thing he could do, pouring his energy and focus into that goal. But now, in his late 80s, Murata sometimes looks back with a sense of quiet regret. All those years, he and his wife had dreams, talked about relaxing hot spring trips, and shared simple pleasures they could have enjoyed together. But he often prioritized saving over spending, believing that one day he'd have time to indulge in those dreams. Now, that time has passed. His children are grown, with families and lives of their own, and those small dreams that were once so reachable feel distant, like something missed on the road of life. Watching this has been a profound lesson for me, a lesson about the importance of balance, presence, and finding joy in the here and now. When I retired at 60 and received my retirement pay, I made a deliberate choice to take a different approach. Of course, I wanted to leave a legacy for my family, but I also wanted to honor the years I had left, to live meaningfully, savoring experiences that I knew would bring joy to both my heart and soul. So, I set a monthly budget of 100,000 yen, not just for expenses, but as a commitment to myself. This monthly budget became my permission to live life with a sense of freedom, to embrace the pleasures and joys that I had always postponed for someday. I allowed myself to say yes to the things that brought happiness, to embark on those hot spring trips Murata and I had dreamed of, feeling the warmth of the natural baths and breathing in the mountain air, embracing the peace that comes with being surrounded by nature's beauty. Pottery classes became another unexpected treasure. There was something so meditative, almost therapeutic, about shaping clay with my hands, about creating something beautiful from raw earth. Each piece I made wasn't just a creation. It was a memory, a marker of the time I invested in myself and my passions. These classes weren't just about pottery. They were about exploring a part of myself I hadn't known, finding joy in the process of learning and creating without the pressures of deadlines or the constraints of youth. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Then there were the family dinners, occasions that became priceless moments of connection. Gathering around a table, sharing food and laughter with loved ones, I began to realize that these dinners were more than meals. They were the simple yet irreplaceable moments that filled my heart. The stories we shared, the laughter that filled the room, even the occasional disagreements, they all became part of the memories I hold dear. Family dinners turned into mini celebrations of life itself, a reminder that time spent together is one of the most meaningful investments we can make. Now, at this stage in life, I look back on these experiences not as expenses but as true treasures, pieces of joy that I collected along my journey. They are worth far more than any inheritance I could have left. Each trip, each pottery piece, and each meal shared with my family is a reminder of the rich, full life I chose to live. In the end, these moments have become my legacy, gifts I carry in my heart rather than my bank account. These memories remind me that life isn't just about securing a future, it's about cherishing the present. And so, I look at my journey with a heart full of gratitude. I am grateful for the path I chose, for the decision to invest in a life well lived, a life filled with warmth, joy, and connection. If I could give any advice to those who still have time, it would be this: never wait for someday to embrace the things that bring you happiness. Life is happening now, and the memories you create will be the treasures you carry with you forever. 2. Decided to stop comparing my life with others. The decision to stop comparing my life to others came slowly, yet it was something I felt growing stronger each day as I watched my dear friend Sato struggle. 4 years, he'd been my close companion, and I could always count on his gentle wisdom and sense of humor. But recently, it was as though that spark within him had dimmed. Every time we met, he seemed weighed down, troubled by the images of luxurious retirement lifestyles that flooded his social media. Photos of friends enjoying 5-star vacations, dining in expensive restaurants, and showing off beautiful homes haunted him. Sato would sigh, shaking his head, and murmur that his pension felt far too small to afford even a fraction of those experiences. At first, I tried comforting him, telling him that social media often presents a distorted, overly glamorous version of people's lives. But Sato couldn't help but feel discouraged, as though his simpler, modest lifestyle somehow made him less successful. Seeing him this way broke my heart because I knew this wasn't the real Sato, the friend who had always found joy in little things, like morning tea and quiet walks through nature. Then, one morning, something surprising happened that marked the beginning of a beautiful transformation. Without any fanfare or big announcement, Sato took it upon himself to visit the nearby park at dawn, armed with nothing more than a broom and a trash bag. He'd seen litter piling up, and rather than complain, he just decided to make a small difference. Day after day, he returned to the park, quietly sweeping away debris, arranging the benches, and clearing paths. At first, hardly anyone noticed his quiet dedication. But soon, people began to realize that the park looked a little cleaner, a little more inviting. Parents noticed the neat playground, joggers saw the trash bins cleared, and children began to feel safe playing there again. Gradually, people's appreciation for Sato grew, and they began calling him Park Sato. Kids would wave and run up to him, chatting about their school day or asking for his advice on silly things. Parents would nod in gratitude, exchanging kind words with him. Even the elderly residents passing through on their morning strolls would stop to share stories with him. His simple act of cleaning the park became an unexpected source of joy for everyone around him. And what was most remarkable was the change it brought in Sato himself. The man who had once been shadowed by feelings of inadequacy and regret began to carry himself differently. His posture straightened, his face brightened, and his smile returned. It was as though he had found a new purpose, something that filled his days with meaning far beyond what he could ever capture in a social media post. Now, whenever we met, he spoke with an infectious excitement about his mornings in the park, the friends he'd made, and the children who'd come to trust him like a beloved grandfather. His once distant expression was now filled with warmth and pride, and he'd often say, with genuine joy in his voice, "I finally feel like I'm living a life that matters. Not because of what I have, but because of what I'm giving." Watching Sato's transformation, I felt a profound shift within myself as well. I began to realize that the true richness of life isn't measured by what we own or the experiences we can afford, but by the small, intentional ways we touch the lives of others. Sato had created a legacy, not of wealth or material possessions, but of kindness and community. A legacy that anyone could leave behind if only they stopped comparing and started contributing. His journey showed me the importance of stepping away from the constant stream of comparisons and reconnecting with what truly matters. Finding fulfillment in actions that resonate with our soul, even if they don't make for flashy stories. Sato's journey has become a reminder to me, a quiet voice that says, "Live for the joy in your heart, not for the opinions of others." Now, I see the world differently, less through the lens of "what am I missing?" and more through the question, "what can I give?" It is a lesson I hold dearly, inspired by my friend Sato, a man who found true wealth in simplicity and discovered his happiest self by letting go of comparisons and embracing his authentic path. 3. How to notice new relationships. There was a time when the quiet moments of my day felt overwhelmingly heavy. I couldn't shake the weight of loneliness that crept in, especially as I went through my daily routines. I'd look around at the world and wonder if others felt the same quiet longing for something more, a spark of connection, even if just for a fleeting moment. But, slowly, something started to change. I decided to take small steps to reach out to the world around me, to look beyond the walls of my isolation. I didn't expect much to come from it, but it became a journey that would eventually fill my heart in ways I hadn't imagined. My morning walks, at first just a part of my daily exercise, began to transform into something richer. I'd pass by familiar faces of fellow dog walkers each day, and with each passing nod, smile, or brief greeting, I felt a warm thread of connection forming. There was a woman who walked her golden retriever with a cheerful bounce in her step, and a man who would always wave as he jogged by, the same playlist seemingly keeping him energized every morning. These little exchanges may seem trivial to others, but to me, they became tiny anchors, a comforting reminder that I wasn't moving through life entirely alone. Then, there was Yamada, the elderly gentleman who worked the register at my neighborhood supermarket. Over time, his welcoming smile and gentle greetings became something I looked forward to, almost like meeting an old friend. His sincere "good morning" felt like a ray of sunshine breaking through a cloudy day, reminding me that kindness could be found in the most unexpected places. It was fascinating to realize that even people I interacted with for mere moments could make me feel seen and valued. Yamada didn't just scan my groceries. He reminded me that even the most ordinary of connections could carry a surprising warmth. My weekly chess club became another touchstone in my journey toward rediscovering companionship. At first, I had joined just to pass the time, but soon it became a space where I could share small victories, laugh over playful banter, and experience the thrill of a well-fought game. The other members became a part of my life in small but meaningful ways, adding a sense of camaraderie that I hadn't felt in years. Each game wasn't just a mental challenge. It was a chance to bond, engage, and experience the joy of shared enthusiasm. But the moment that truly transformed my perspective was when I met Suzuki, a man with a gentle spirit and a contagious passion for life. Suzuki, at 75, had this sparkle in his eye that hinted at a life well lived and an eagerness to keep learning and giving. He mentioned that he spent 3 days a week at the local library, reading stories to elementary school children. His face lit up as he described the joy it brought him to watch their eyes widen in wonder at tales of adventure and courage. Suzuki's words struck a chord in me. Here was a man who wasn't bound by age or expectations. Instead, he embraced a purpose that brought light not only to himself but to those around him. Listening to him, I realized something that I had been searching for all along: meaningful relationships don't always have to be intense. You don't need to share every thought, every fear, or every joy with someone for them to matter. Sometimes, it's enough just to be present, to offer a kind word, or to give a bit of your time. In Suzuki's case, simply reading stories was a way of contributing to his community, of leaving a small yet profound mark on young hearts. And in that act, he found a source of youthfulness and vitality that I hadn't known was possible. Suzuki taught me that we often underestimate the power of small, gentle connections. We overlook the magic that lies in everyday encounters, thinking that only grand relationships can fill the gaps in our lives. But in reality, these small, seemingly insignificant interactions weave together to create a rich tapestry of connection and joy. Since meeting Suzuki, I've come to treasure these moments with a new sense of appreciation. My morning walks, the chess club, and the friendly greeting from Yamada at the supermarket, each became precious threads in the fabric of my life, making each day brighter, fuller, and far less lonely than before. Now, when I feel that familiar pang of solitude, I remind myself that I am not truly alone. These connections may be small, but they bring meaning and warmth into my life. They remind me that joy can be found in unexpected places, and that a life filled with even the simplest of connections is a life truly well lived. 4. Appropriate distance with children. This lesson, rooted in the mistakes of my past, has been one of the most challenging and emotional realizations of my life. I once believed that by giving a significant part of my retirement pay to my eldest son and his wife, I would ensure a sense of security and closeness with them as I grew older. I thought that financial support could bring us together and make them feel responsible for me. Instead, it seemed to draw an invisible line between us, creating unspoken expectations and a deep discomfort in our interactions. Conversations grew strained, weighed down by the complexity of money, and the openness we once shared slowly faded. I couldn't help but feel that I had unintentionally pushed them away. With a heart full of reflection and hope, I chose a different path with my second son. This time, I decided to let go of financial involvement and focus on building meaningful memories together. I proposed a simple yet heartfelt arrangement of gathering for monthly meals, where the only currency exchanged would be laughter, love, and genuine connection. Now, I spend weekends with my grandchildren, cherishing their smiles and laughter. It's the purest joy, untainted by financial ties, just a deep, loving bond that fills my soul. I realize now that true closeness comes not from material support but from nurturing genuine, loving moments together. 5. Efforts to maintain muscle. The lesson Professor Murata shared about muscles has stayed with me, etched deeply in my heart, resonating like an emotional reminder of what we stand to lose if we don't fight to keep it. He once told me, muscles are like water in a cup. Each year after 70, the level drops, bit by bit, fading away unless you keep pouring more water in. That metaphor hit me hard, and I vowed I wouldn't let my cup go dry without a fight. So, starting at 60, I committed to my small daily rituals, seemingly simple yet packed with determination and hope. Every morning, I do 10 squats to start my day with strength, not weakness. I fit in 20 calf raises during my favorite TV shows, knowing each lift is adding precious drops to my cup. Even brushing my teeth has become an opportunity to stay strong. I throw 100 punches, channeling every ounce of energy into them, feeling a connection to my body with each swing. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. These habits are more than exercises. They're acts of gratitude for what I still can do and an act of defiance against the passage of time. Because of these small, persistent efforts, I am still able to go shopping by myself and enjoy the freedom of independence. I can even play at the park, surrounded by laughter, feeling like I've beaten the odds, if only a little. This journey isn't just about staying strong. It's about honoring life, refusing to fade, and embracing every step forward with pride and resilience. 6. Regular sleep habits. As I moved into my 60s, I came to a profound realization about the power of sleep. Establishing a consistent sleep routine wasn't just another habit to tick off. It was a conscious commitment to my overall well-being. Every night, without fail, I made it a point to go to bed and wake up at the same time. This small, disciplined choice gradually transformed into a sacred ritual that has brought balance and strength to my life. There's something deeply comforting in knowing that, regardless of the chaos of the day, my sleep routine remains a constant, a space of calm that restores and revitalizes me. I remember discussing this with my dear friend Sato, who would often mention how tempting it is to stay up late as we get older. After all, he'd say, "Isn't it nice to enjoy a quiet moment of solitude when the world has slowed down?" And yes, I understand that urge, that feeling of reclaiming time when the house is still. Yet, despite the allure, I realized how much better I felt when I honored my sleep schedule. While some nights I'd be tempted to stay up, I'd remind myself that each hour of consistent rest was an investment in my health and vitality. In my experience, regular sleep has become more than just a habit. It's like a lifeline that connects me to my energy, mood, and mental clarity. I can feel its effects on my body and mind each day, helping me to stay sharper and more resilient. And the benefits go far beyond physical health. There's a peace that comes with knowing I'm doing something profoundly good for myself. Regular sleep, I believe, holds the key to aging gracefully, maintaining energy, and staying positive, even when life brings challenges. As I look back on my journey, I am deeply grateful for this habit. It's a reminder of the respect I hold for my body and the care I owe to my future self. I wish more people would understand how transformative something as simple as a consistent bedtime can be. In many ways, it feels like a quiet act of self-love, a promise to myself that no matter what the day has been, I will rest, recover, and rise ready to face a new day. 7. Decluttering without overexertion. When my wife turned 80, she felt a deep calling to simplify our lives and bring a new light to our home. Over the years, we had accumulated so many belongings. Some practical, some sentimental, and others that had simply piled up over time without us even noticing. Rather than taking on the daunting task all at once, she approached it gently, deciding to clear the home little by little, day by day, giving each item the respect and consideration it deserved. Each year, she would set aside a season dedicated to this careful process of decluttering, thoughtfully assessing what truly mattered and what we could lovingly let go. It was surprising how emotional it could be. We'd pick up old books with handwritten notes tucked inside, clothing that had traveled with us to countless places, and decorations that had graced our holiday gatherings. In the beginning, it was challenging to part with things that had once seemed so essential. But as we gradually released these items, a remarkable shift took place, not only in our homes but in our hearts. Letting go of the non-essentials became symbolic, as though we were freeing ourselves from the weight of the past while still treasuring the most meaningful memories. Each empty shelf, each cleared drawer, left us with a renewed sense of calm and simplicity. One of the most touching parts of this journey was organizing our memories. For years, we had stored away boxes and boxes of photos, snapshots of family gatherings, holidays, and candid moments that had woven together the story of our lives. Together, we decided to keep only the most precious photo albums, the ones filled with memories too special to digitize, too personal to tuck away in a hard drive. Each page held a story, a piece of who we are. We chose to digitize the rest, ensuring that our family could access and enjoy these memories without needing to store piles of albums and loose photos. Now, with our home organized and our memories preserved, I often find myself sitting with our grandchildren, sharing these stories from long ago. They love to hear about how things were in our day, about the people and places that shaped us. I feel a surge of pride and nostalgia as I relive these moments with them, knowing that even if they didn't live through these times, they can understand a piece of our journey. And by sharing these memories with them, I feel that our legacy, the joy, the struggles, the laughter, and the love, will live on in their hearts. This experience has been far more than just tidying up our home. It's been a chance to revisit our lives, relive the beauty of our shared past, and make room for the present. Letting go of what's unnecessary, we've made space for what truly matters, discovering a sense of peace, clarity, and joy that fills both our home and our hearts. 8. A diet style that suits oneself. Finding a diet that truly feels right can be a journey, often filled with doubts, experimentation, and discoveries along the way. Together with my wife, we decided to try something unique and manageable, having palm-sized portions of meat or fish at every meal. This decision wasn't made lightly. We wanted something sustainable, something that would nurture us over time without becoming an overwhelming chore. Kazuo, initially hesitant, expressed genuine concern, saying, "Eating a lot of meat will make you fat." His worries were understandable, echoing years of conventional advice that taught us to shy away from frequent meat portions for fear of unwanted weight gain or health issues. However, as we adapted to this new approach, a realization dawned on us. A balanced, moderate protein intake is essential for maintaining overall health. Each carefully chosen portion gave us energy, strength, and a sense of satisfaction, without the feeling of excess. We began to understand that finding a diet that suits you is less about blindly following trends and more about listening to your body and what truly feels nourishing. This way of eating has brought us both comfort and a surprising sense of joy, knowing that we're caring for our bodies in a way that genuinely feels right for us. 9. Challenging new hobbies. In my 60s, I decided to embark on a journey of personal growth by exploring new hobbies, one step at a time. I wanted to challenge myself with interests I had long admired but never had the courage or time to pursue. Pottery and photography stood out to me as fascinating worlds filled with creativity, expression, and endless possibilities. I decided to dive in, signing up for classes in each and allowing myself the freedom to learn, make mistakes, and improve at my own pace. This journey has been more fulfilling than I ever anticipated, adding layers of joy, purpose, and self-discovery to my daily life. Pottery, in particular, has captivated me in ways I hadn't expected. There's something almost magical about molding a block of clay with my hands, watching it transform into something unique, something I created from nothing. The experience of sitting at the pottery wheel, feeling the cool, wet clay, and focusing on each movement brings a sense of peace and mindfulness I had rarely found before. It requires patience, precision, and resilience. Every piece doesn't turn out perfectly, but that's part of the process. Recently, one of my pottery pieces was selected for a local exhibition, a moment I'll cherish forever. Standing there, seeing my work displayed for others to admire, filled me with an overwhelming sense of pride and accomplishment. I felt like I had achieved something truly meaningful, and that feeling alone makes every class, every imperfect piece, and every challenging moment entirely worthwhile. Photography has offered a completely different but equally enriching experience. With a camera in hand, I've learned to look at the world through a fresh lens, one that reveals beauty in the everyday and invites me to capture fleeting moments. It's given me the opportunity to slow down and appreciate the small details, the way sunlight dances on the water, the texture of a tree's bark, and the expression on a loved one's face. This practice has deepened my connection to the world around me, teaching me to savor the beauty in life's simplest moments. Each photo I take feels like a tiny masterpiece, a memory frozen in time, and the excitement of capturing the perfect shot fills me with a sense of purpose and creativity I never knew I needed. Starting these hobbies has been transformative, making my days brighter and more meaningful. They've provided me with not just new skills, but also a fresh outlook, a rekindled sense of curiosity, and a reminder that life's possibilities don't fade with age, they expand. Trying something new, particularly as we grow older, isn't simply about learning a skill. It's about connecting with ourselves in new ways and enriching our lives with joy and fulfillment. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that it's never too late to discover passions you didn't know existed within you. So, I wholeheartedly encourage anyone, no matter their age, to take that leap into the unknown. Find something that speaks to you, pour your heart into it, and watch as it transforms not only your days but your entire outlook on life. 10. valuing small pleasures. When I was younger, my heart raced with excitement for the grand adventures life had to offer. I sought joy in thrilling travels to faraway places, fine dining experiences in beautiful restaurants, and the luxurious things I thought were essential to a fulfilled life. Each trip, each meal, and each lavish moment was a piece of happiness I collected, shaping my perception of what it meant to truly live. But now, at 83, looking back, I feel a warmth in my chest as I think about how the simple things, the small moments, have become the true jewels of my life. These days, it's the gentle moments that move me the most. A quiet morning walk fills me with peace, and the soft, fresh air feels like a gentle reminder that each day is a gift. I found a ritual in making my morning coffee, savoring the aroma, the warmth of the cup between my hands, and the first sip that comforts my soul in a way I never knew was possible. And nothing compares to the laughter of my grandchildren. The sound is like music, each giggle a melody that brings my heart such profound joy. Watching them play, seeing their innocent joy and boundless energy, it reminds me of the beauty of life in its purest form. I wouldn't trade these small, precious moments for the world. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that my 60s were not a closing chapter but an unexpected beginning. I had once feared that growing older meant winding down, that life's most meaningful days were slipping through my fingers. But that fear was unfounded. My 60s were the dawn of a new phase. A phase where I could slow down, not to stop living, but to live with more intention, more grace, more gratitude for the little things I'd once overlooked. Not everyone around me shares this perspective. My dear friend Tanaka, who once shared in my pursuit of adventure, has now chosen to retreat. He often sighs, "It's too late for me now." There's a sadness I feel for him, for the joy he's convinced himself he can no longer find. I wish he could see that age does not define our spirit, and that there's no limit to the things we can experience if we open our hearts to them. I want to tell him that age doesn't have to be a barrier. It can be a doorway to new possibilities if only he would let it. Inspired to keep my mind active and to challenge myself, I recently signed up for a smartphone class. At first, it was intimidating. Learning something so modern and complex at my age felt daunting, but I reminded myself that curiosity knows no age. Month by month, I noticed my progress. When the young instructor looked at me with a smile and said, "Mr. Kazuo, you're improving quickly," I felt a surge of pride and joy that I hadn't felt in years. His words reassured me that this journey of growth and learning never ends, and each new thing I conquer, no matter how small, brings me closer to who I want to be. Now, every morning, as I walk through my neighborhood or share a quiet moment with my coffee, I tell myself that happiness doesn't live solely in grand experiences. Real joy is woven through the little moments of each day, like threads that, over time, create a tapestry of a life well lived. And I've come to understand that life, even in its simplest form, is filled with richness and beauty, as long as we choose to open our hearts to it. For me, this is the essence of being truly alive, and each day, I welcome it with open arms and a grateful heart. As we reach the end of this reflection on valuing life's simple joys, I invite you to take a moment to think about your journey. What have you learned so far about finding happiness in the small, everyday moments? Is there something in these stories that resonates with you, perhaps a lesson or perspective you might carry forward in your life? Please share one thing you've learned from this video and how you'll bring it into practice. We'd love to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue bringing meaningful stories and insights to our community. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you.